Hey guys, how's it going? I'm here. I'm doing a collab with Baby. We're gonna be talking about the stock market crash. We're gonna talk about some of the companies that we found that didn't really get affected by the 2008 market crash, and we believe going forward. And we're gonna talk about speculative stocks that might get affected and might not get affected by the market crash. And I'm gonna let Baby introduce himself right now, so you can go ahead.
What's up, family? I've been on this channel before. Some of you definitely remember me. Some of you also probably don't. But basically, I also run a channel. I'm also the CEO and founder of our channel. We're a few people now. But what we do on our channel is basically we try to bring you the newest and most interesting investment opportunities that are possible right now, and just try to make you some more money.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so this is the first company that we ran across. Is called American Water Works Corporation. This company IPO'd around the market crash, so it didn't really get affected because it was already such a brand new company. And on top of that, in a recession, people still need water to drink, so the stock didn't really get affected. And we believe that when the market crashed again in 2018, if the market crashed in 2008, we're not saying it will, but we're saying that there will, eventually there will be a market crash eventually, because we're overdue for a market crash. But we believe that Waterworks will still not get affected when the market crash again, because we are already because people need water even in a recession. So we believe the stock won't get affected. Now Baby will talk about what he thinks about American Waterworks.
Well, definitely, especially with all the water scarcity in the world that we currently have, and especially because of how unfair water is actually spread in between the world. So in a case of crash or a correction in the markets, a big correction and whatnot, people are not going to stop the demand for water. Like, we're still going to be drinking water, that's for sure. And actually, the demand for water is only going to keep on increasing, because right now there is more demand for water than there is supply. And I'm talking right now. And we're only about 7 billion people on this planet right now. And the population is only growing as we speak. And I mean, just think about it for a second. The people that are going to the population is going to increase, so the extra people that are going to be on our planet, they're not going to live on beer. And basically, if they do live on beer, beer is basically made out of water. So there is no substitute for water. And besides the increasing population, we're also undergoing giant climate change right now. So when climate changes, the demand only increases because it becomes very hot, and the supply decreases. So prices for water are just going to keep on going up and up and up. That's for sure, because there is no other substitute for water right now. Or yeah, at least that's in my opinion. That's what I think about it.
Yeah, good point. Unless our scientists discover some kind of substitute for water, water is going to be around forever. And without water, our planet would probably not survive. We would not have a planet.
That's definitely true, but if you think about it, if scientists discover some kind of product to, let's say, for example, purify seawater, because our planet exists of about 71% water, and 97% out of those 71% is seawater. So let's say, for example, some scientist discovers a way to purify seawater. The thing that he discovers, if it's just like one scientist, is going to be bought like right away by a giant company. So you need to find that company, and you need to invest in that company right before they buy the technology. So that also opens new opportunities to invest in companies that are also trying to figure out new ways to purify water, or basically to produce water out of air, out of seawater, out of the glaciers, out of ice caps and whatnot.
Okay, so let's move on to our next stock. So the next stock is McDonald's. In 2008, the stock did not, it basically kind of didn't do anything, and then it kind of took off in 2009 when the market was recovering. So we don't think, McDonald's is kind of in the overvalued area right now, because it does look like it's already $181. So it could have a market crash it could have a crash with the market, but you know, McDonald's is still very safe. Even if it has a crash, it'll recorrect itself very fast, because McDonald's, people are gonna eat McDonald's. Recession, good times, people are gonna eat them, period. So it doesn't matter. McDonald's is a safe business that will never go away, that has such a sexy brand name that everybody in the world knows what McDonald's is. If you go to China and you say McDonald's, they know what McDonald's is. Like, nobody in this world that doesn't know McDonald's, except for maybe North Korea, because, you know, McDonald's can't get into North Korea. But one day, McDonald's will get into North Korea, and everybody in North Korea will know about McDonald's. At least I think. I don't know exactly for shit. Anyway, so what do you have to say about McDonald's, baby?
I believe there are like somewhere between 8 of 10 countries that don't have McDonald's in the world. So North Korea, obviously. I don't know. I believe 8 countries or something like that just that don't have McDonald's. All the other countries, like all the other countries in the world, do have McDonald's. And if you think about it, bottom line, McDonald's is a restaurant. I know the main business of McDonald's is basically real estate, or at least that's what the movie said. But bottom line is, McDonald's is a restaurant, and if we have an economic crash, for example, people are still going to want to go to a restaurant, but they're not going to be able to pay for an expensive restaurant, so they're probably going to go to a cheaper restaurant, because bottom line, McDonald's is a cheap restaurant. It's not. I don't think it's super cheap. I don't eat at McDonald's because I still find it to be overpriced. But for a restaurant, McDonald's is pretty cheap. So during an economic crash or even a stock market crash, when people are out of money, I personally believe that they will still visit McDonald's. So just as you said, Kevin, if there is a correction or a crash in McDonald's per share price, it should normally be able to get back up again, not as slow as other stocks will. So yeah, that's basically what I think about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, for me personally, I do eat McDonald's once in a while, because it's, you know, I don't know,
It's still delicious.
It's still good. It's still good. It's just not healthy. It's good food, but it's not healthy. So, and it's pretty cheap too, compared to like other fast food joints. It's one of the cheaper fast food joints that I've been to. So that's all I really have to say about McDonald's. And then let's move on to the third stock. This is a pretty safe company too. It's called Monster Beverage. Like, this stock in 2003, 2002 was like 7 and 8 cents. If you invested back then and you hold on for like over 10 years, you would be like a multi-millionaire right now. But who would really know about Monsters back in the day? So that's probably something that's really unrealistic. But if you look at the chart, right, in 2008, the stock was like Monster was already such a small company that it really did not get affected by a market crash. So, you know, like, we believe that because you know, Monster could have a crash with the rest of the market, since it's kind of like it's a more notable company now, so it could have a crash. But at the end of the day, people, like, it's part of the water industry. People need caffeine. Caffeine is one of the most addictive substances in the world. And even in a recession, I still think people will still buy Monster drinks because they need caffeine, and caffeine is an addictive substance. And Monster also has a very sexy brand, and Coke owns like 20% of Monster right now. So I really don't think it would be affected too much if a market crash was to happen. I don't think Monster will get affected too much, but it could have like maybe like a 5% dip or a 10% dip if the market was to crash. That's just my opinion, though. I still think it's, you know, it's only a $30 billion company, $31 billion company. So I mean, for an energy drink, I guess that is kind of expensive. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it could have a crash. It could not have a crash. But in 2008, it did not have a crash because it was too small of a player to even be noticed. So what do you think about Monster, baby?
Well, let's think for a second about rising interest rates. Like, companies that have big loans, big debts, they're going to be in big trouble when that happens. And that
like
basically
Apple?
is going to happen. Like, I mean, think about it, they said that December probably is going to have an interest rate hike, and with that interest rate hike, everything's going to start going back up again. And if you check Monster's balance sheets, they have I believe, yeah, let me see, 1.2 billion dollars on that balance sheet. Well, 1.17 billion dollars on that balance sheet, and no debt whatsoever. So we don't have to worry about that. So if there indeed is a big correction or a crash, I think that they will have enough money to still keep on, developing the business, expanding further on and whatnot. And then I find the management of the company also to be very effective. If you also check the management effectiveness on Yahoo Finance, you'll see that they had an ROE, so return on equity, of 25%. So basically, the money that you invest in the company, they take it and they use it very well because they get 25% back on it. Although the stock, you see, in the last 52 weeks declined about 10%, I still think it's a healthy company at this moment. It also had a very nice past. If you take a look at also like earnings and whatnot, they have been growing stably throughout the last 5 years. And just as you say, during the crash of 28, they did have a correction, but it was not that big. So overall, I don't know. Also, a lot of the shares, about 150 million of the shares are out of the float. So they are held by founders and early insiders. And also, if you take a look, 66% of the shares outstanding is held by institutions. That really should say a lot about this stock. It's like, I believe that institutions mainly invest in companies that they believe are healthy and are going to be around for the next few years. So, in general, that's my personal opinion. They're healthy, and I think that they have a nice future in front of them. Maybe they're probably not going to explode. Like, you shouldn't expect this company to be like, finding Aurora at $2, because they already are at $31 billion market cap. They're not going to be at $200 billion market cap anytime soon, or at least that's my personal opinion. Though it's possible, everything's possible, but I don't think they're going to explode. Still, I think that this is a healthy company in general.
I do believe that if Monster got into, like, let's say, cannabis infused drinks or energy cannabis infused drinks, or even like CBD energy drinks, I do believe that, Monster has the potential to double their market cap. So I do see in the future, Monster, possibly in the next 3 to 5 years, Monster could double their market cap. So I can see the stock potentially being over $100. But for it to explode to like $200 billion market cap, probably not gonna happen for like at least the next 20 years, or maybe the next over 10 years at least. Before, if it was to happen, it'll take at least more than 10 years. So I mean, I still believe that it's a good investment if you were, because they do they pay a dividend? I'm not sure on this.
I just also not sure. No, they're not. I'm not holding Monster, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not holding Monster too, because I believe that's better investments. But I'm just saying that Monster is a pretty safe company. Because people are addicted to caffeine. I'm more of a new age beverages, because they are small. Like, I guess we weren't putting new age in here. New age beverages. They only had they were $160 million market cap. 286. I think it was under 200 when it was at around $3. But still, the market cap's very small. I can see new age beveraging going to $1 billion in maybe a couple years from now. So, you could still potentially 4 or 5 times your money on new age beverages. It is a gamble, but they're a real company. They're in the same industry as as Monster. They don't have the sexy brand name as Monster, but they have potential. That's why I would rather invest into New Age. And I don't think New Age would have a correction, because New Age is already such a small company that if a market crash was to happen, I don't think it would really have a correction. Just my opinion though. We'll see what happens though. If like at worst case scenario, the stock goes back to $3 in my opinion. I don't think it'll ever dip below $3 again. But at the end of the day, this is only my prediction. You have anything to say? Anything on New Age Beverage, baby?
It sounds logic what you say. So I'm looking at it right here, and I see that they have 72 million shares outstanding. So 72.8 million shares outstanding, and only about 33 million shares outstanding is in the float. So that means founders still have like more than half of that company. More than half of the company in their hands. And if you compare it with the per share price of the 23rd of November, that's about $155 million. I don't think that smart people that are able to build this company and know everything about that company are going to hold on $155 million of loss, if you understand what I'm saying. So I think that if they thought that the stock is going to crash, they were going to deploy a lot more money out of the company. So, and the same thing again, they do have just a small debt of $4.13 million, and they have $28.6 million in cash, and again $155 million in the hands of founders. So if they really need a lot more money to continue expanding the business, they are not going to go for debt, or at least in my opinion. So, I believe it's stable for the moment. And again, I'm not invested in NBEV. I believe you are.
I am. I have a total of 12,000 shares in NBEV, and I'm hoping the stock. I'm really hoping the stock goes back to $3 so I can buy back in more. But I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna wait. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of fish in the water, and I believe that there's always gonna be an opportunity to make a big investment into a small company that could double, triple, or quadruple your money in the future. I don't think it's gonna end off with the weed stocks. I do believe in the future I will run into other companies that will double or triple my money. And NBEV is one that I'm really rooting for. I did a lot of research on the company. I like the CEO. I think he's he has a lot of experience. He used to be the president of Coke, so like he knows how to run a business. He took a Belgium company and turned it, and he took an alcohol Belgium company that went nowhere, and he branded the product well, and then now they're one of the biggest alcohol companies in Europe, and that's a pretty big achievement on the CEO's part. So the CEO absolutely knows what he's doing, and now that he just raised an extra $50 million, they are very, very well capitalized to execute on the strategy, and there's a potential that New Age Beverages might get acquired by like a bigger player, like let's say like Coke, or even like Aurora, or like like any company could acquire them, because they are an established business and they're not profitable yet, but their goals is to try to get to the profitable stage, to generate enough revenue to be profitable. And that's what they want to. That's the short-term goal. Their long-term goal is to be a healthy drink company, and that's their goal. And I like the business model. I like the CEO, and I think the company is undervalued at $286 million. I do believe that this company will eventually be $1 billion company. This is just my opinion.
That's definitely possible. I believe that their CEO also owns a lot of shares of this company, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that he bought some of the shares. I just can't find exact article, but I believe he holds a lot of the shares. And again, I don't think that he's going to be holding shares of a company that he doesn't believe in. So that's again just my opinion. Another interesting thing, actually, also a pretty small company, Shoom Holdings. I believe you.
No, we'll talk about Shoom later. We'll talk about Shoom later. That'll be like the last one. So, let's talk about Aurora now. I think that's good enough for that. How long has this video been? Wow, 19 minutes. Holy shit. Okay, let's just try to make this quick. So, Aurora, like, honestly, I believe Aurora is already overvalued. I believe that there's a lot of big investors investing into Aurora. I believe that if a market was to crash, I say worst case scenario, we dip back to maybe $5 because like I believe Aurora should have at least a $5 billion market cap because Canopy just got a big investment for $5 billion for 18% of the company, and I believe Aurora is worth at least more than $5 billion. That's just my opinion. If it ever drops to 534, why couldn't like a big billionaire investor just come in and jump into Aurora? Because I do believe Aurora in probably around next year will go back to $15. But because we're in such a bear market, I do believe that we could see possibly $6. Worst case scenario, we'll see like $5.34. That's absolutely worst case scenario, but I don't think that will even happen. I think worst case scenario is around $7. You have anything quick to say about Aurora?
Sounds about right, but bottom line for Aurora is if you're looking to double or triple your money, I'm not sure Aurora is the only choice or even the best choice. So definitely if you want to like deploy some money into the cannabis market, Aurora, in my personal opinion, was my first cannabis holding, so I love this company. It's definitely a nice option for me and for my personal situation, but if you want to double, triple, quadruple your money even, I don't think Aurora is going to be the best option. Simply because, yeah, just all of what you just said.
Okay, so next up, well, if you manage to get $5,
well, if you're then you can definitely almost, that's true. So if you have a correction, I'm definitely buying some more shares if it drops actually 5. That's for sure.
Okay, yeah, me too. I try to find like I have a margin account open soon, so I definitely be like using margin accounts, borrow money to buy Aurora stock if it goes to $5. It's a little risky, but at the end of the day, I'm willing to throw a lot of money into Aurora if it ever drops to that certain price point. So next up, we're gonna talk about True Eve Cannabis. This company is, I have a little bit of investment in here. Baby also has a little bit of an investment in here. This is a very new company. We don't think it will get affected by the stock market crash simply because it's so new. It's just gonna be I think at the end of the day, the stock's gonna be volatile. Worst case scenario will drop down to $11. Best case scenario is the stock could, I don't know, go to $100, I believe, because they're very profitable. Their revenue is very good, and they're only in Florida, and they're planning to expand throughout the United States, but right now they're only in Florida, and they're doing very good for themselves just being in the state of Florida. So
well, actually, they just announced 2 new entries a few days ago, actually, on November 22nd, I believe. So they now have 2 new entries in 2 new markets, and that's Massachusetts and the giant market of California. So that's great.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're starting to expand into those into those states. They haven't yet. They just announced the news of expanding into those states. So just because this is a very new company, we don't know how if the market was to crash, we don't think it's gonna really affect their stock, because at the end of the day, the stock's not really connected to the New York Stock Exchange or the Nasdaq. So investors, this is like a basically Canadian-owned run. So it depends. Like if investors panicked and saw the market crash and decided to sell it True, I would definitely be like coming in and buying it, because at the end of the day, I don't care about market crash for this. I do believe in this company in the long term. So I'm hoping the stock drops to back to $10. I would be a big buy if it ever does, because they have a good business. They're profitable, and they're only in one state right now. So imagine them being in California and in other states. They would totally dominate, in my opinion. So
imagine an uplisting on the New York Stock Exchange or Nasdaq, or what they choose.
Oh, this will happen when the United States become fairly legal. This is one of the stocks that will get listed on the New York Stock Exchange or the Nasdaq. So that's what I believe. So let's talk about Acreage Holdings next, because I want to make this not at least under 30 minutes at least. So next.
By the way, shout out to everybody that's still watching this video. You're the man.
Yes.
Or the woman.
Yeah, thank you for actually sticking through all of this. So next one up is Acreage Holdings. Acreage Holdings is one of the... So when Acreage Holdings IPO'd, it IPO'd at $25 US. So people, they raised money at $25 US. So this stock is already undervalued. I believe that long term, and when the stock gets listed on the New York Stock Exchange, they will be worth at least $100. In my opinion only. So I think this could be a bagger in the next 2 years when the United States become very legal. Acreage Holdings, I have a big investment in Acreage Holdings. I think I have about $30,000 US in Acreage Holdings. I do plan to add more if I see the stock dropping to a certain price. I'm crossing my fingers the stock price drops, because this is one of the company that I'm really interested in, and I'm hoping to have add more to my position. Acreage Holdings is the biggest cannabis company in the United States right now. Baby does not have an investment into it, but I do, and I really like this company. You have anything to say about this company, Baby?
That's the thing that I was trying to say. I do not have an investment because I'm someone that really likes to look at charts and numbers, and I don't have that much data on the numbers and whatnot to go back to. And I do understand I could have taken a speculative position, and I'm kicking myself for not taking one because I knew about this company, heard about it, and I did not do it. But long term, if we're talking about like the next 1 to 3 years, like the mid-long term, I can definitely see a lot of potential. And again, an uplisting could definitely...
Oh, like, this talk is... Sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's like an uplisting could definitely make the stock price skyrocket. So, that's what I think.
So I listened to the CEO talk about Acreage Holdings, and he says that like as soon as the United States become fairly legal, Acreage Holdings is going on the New York Stock Exchange. That's what the CEO says. He says that we have to list on the Canadian Security Exchange right now because it's still very illegal in the United States. So they're going to be focusing on the Canadian stock market because that's where the liquid capital is. But once the United States become very legal, they are totally expecting to list on the New York Stock Exchange. So just eventually this will get listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and Americans would love to invest into this company if this ever goes on to the New York Stock Exchange. So I do believe in this company in the long term, and I'm like you said that you should have took a position in this. You never know, right? It could go back down to $21 or $20. I don't think it'll ever go below that. Just my opinion, though. But anything's possible. It could go down to $15 or $10. Who knows? But at the end of the day, if this thing ever drops to $15, oh my god, I'd be so happy. I'd be like throwing more money into this company. So. Yeah, that's all.
At the end of the day, that's a real company. Like, they're established in a lot of states. They're not like in 1 or 2 states.
18 states. The biggest cannabis company in the world. We don't know the financials, but it's eventually they're gonna have to release it, and I think the numbers are gonna be awesome. I think they're gonna be in the $50 million plus, because they have the most dispensaries out of all the cannabis companies in the United States right now. They have the most cultivation facilities. They're in the most states in the United States right now. They have they have the former prime minister on the board of directors. They have the former John Boehner, the former Republican Speaker of the United States. So they have access to government officials in both Canada and the United States. Another reason why I love this company. Okay, I think that's it for Acreage Holdings. You want to add anything else, or we'll move to the next one?
Well, yeah, definitely, that's it. I think you said the biggest cannabis companies in the world. That's like the biggest cannabis company in America. So just adding that. So this someone can get the wrong vision on it. So yeah, you get what I mean.
So this is the last stock we're gonna talk about it. Both B and Baby have investment in this. I've lost a lot of money on this because I was investing in around 90 cents, between $1 and 90 cents, and the stock has dropped to 59 cents. So I've already lost 30 to 40% of my original investment. So I'm down like $20,000-$30,000. I'm hoping the stock keeps dropping because I would love to buy it at around 50 cents. I don't know why there's a massive sell-off on June. I don't understand the concept behind it. Aurora made a huge investment in June. They're saying that they're gonna acquire up to 40% of the company with warrants, but and then the stock completely sells off. Like, I can't put a logic behind that. But, you know, if management still manages to execute on the strategy, open up June stores, you know, establish more cultivation licenses and get a sales license, I do believe the stock will go back to $1 eventually. At least I'm hoping. I could be totally wrong and the stock could just completely stay at 50 cents. But in a stock market crash, since the stock's already sold off so much, that I don't think the market crash will even affect the stock at all, because it's already declined so much in the short period of time, and it's such a small cap that I don't think it's going to really get affected on a market crash. Just my opinion though. I think if a market crash was to happen, the stock wouldn't really move anywhere. It might even increase in stock price just because it's in speculation and it's such a small cap. You have anything to say about you?
Well, actually, kind of the same thing, because Toshi, I like to look at numbers, and I also like to look at what insiders are doing. And with you, basically insiders and big companies are doing two things. So Aurora is trusting this company with a lot of money. So they've deployed around $27 million into it, I mean. And then we have number two, insiders. They don't want all of their shares to be out for trade, so they have around 45% of the companies kept tight by insiders and by founders. And that really speaks to me. So I also did take a position into it a little bit lower than you did, at around 47 cents. So a little bit later. So I am also losing a little bit of money on it, not thinking about selling it.
You got it at 47?
Because I also like the branding.
You got it at 47 cents?
Yeah, that was a few days ago, basically.
Because it hasn't dropped to 47 cents. The worst it dropped to was 57 cents.
No, I mean on the OTC. So I'm looking at yeah. The thing is, I don't like buying stocks on the OTC. I like buying stocks on Canadian exchange. I'm not Canadian, by the way. I'm based in Europe. But I had some dollars on my brokerage account, and I didn't want to pay transaction costs. I really wanted to buy shoe, but I didn't want to pay transaction costs, because basically I have to put my dollars into Canadian dollars to buy it. And I thought, like, yeah, we already have these dollars. Let me just deploy it into shoe.
I see. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh wait. I guess so. That's pretty good price, I believe. 47 cents. That's about 57. So you bought it almost near the bottom. Then are you up right now on shoe?
No.
No. Oh, you're still down, but you're not down by very much, right?
No, but and I also didn't take a large position. So I did take a few positions last week, and my largest one was like 15K into True Leaf. So I have 15,000 Canadian dollars into True Leaf, and I put like 3K, I believe, or 2.8K into Shoe.
I see.
And that's American, so 2.8 American, yeah.
Oh wait, all right. Well, anyways, this video has been long enough. 33 minutes. Oh my God! Thank you for actually watching all the way through to the. Actually watching this entire video. It's very long. I appreciate you guys staying to the very end. I'll put less ads into this because it's already such a long video. So I'll put an ad every 5 minutes instead of every 3 minutes. Anyways, thanks. And then if you watch it on Baby's channel, ad free. So he will be posting this up on Tuesday, you said, right?
Well, Tuesday I'm planning on posting maybe a water video. So this one's probably going to go Wednesday or even Thursday, but it's coming on, so yeah. Oh wait,
and he's gonna edit it out and make it shorter. So anyways, thanks for watching. You know, subscribe for future updates to both our channels. I'll have Baby's channel in the link below. Do you have any closing remarks to say?
Well, definitely appreciate you. I had a nice talk. It's been more than half an hour. So I think we brought some great value to the table here today, and I had a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.